Well, what has love got to do with it? That's the question. This one was kind of everything that I expected it to be, but also not. Welcome to another movie review video. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above in case you are looking for something to watch this weekend. I also have an Oscars 2023 playlist linked if that is what you kind of come here for, to hear my Oscar views as well. So I will leave that linked up and in the end screen and what have you. But yes, what's love got to do with it? Always excited when we actually get a rom-com in the cinema. I feel like they're fewer and farther between these days. This one is Emma Thompson and Lily James, who grew up living next door to a Pakistani Muslim family who the son of which is embarking upon an assisted marriage journey. Lily James plays an award-winning documentary filmmaker, which I really, really loved. I love watching documentaries, and it was great seeing this like female director, award-winning, having all this like clout behind her, be the protagonist of a film. She also lives on a houseboat, which I thought was really cool. Emma Thompson plays the character that Emma Thompson seems to play a lot in recent years, kind of that like older, a little bit eccentric mother who's a bit pushy and a bit louder than she should be. And are we meant to laugh at her? I don't know. But yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with Emma Thompson in films recently, which is shocking because Emma Thompson in Sense and Sensibility is one of my favourite things. And Emma Thompson in Love Actually, again, also one of my favourite things. So yeah, I don't know if it's the films that she's being cast in at the minute, but yes, there's that. That's what Emma Thompson was about in this film. But basically, along the way of making this film about her, like one of her very best friends, she also has to address her own views on love and relationships. And obviously, her mother is of the opinion that she needs to find a man, settle down, have a baby, get married, so she won't end up alone. And obviously, being an award-winning documentary filmmaker who has her own houseboat, she does not want to do these things. And so we kind of have that kind of pushback relationship thing, and we have her kind of friends and other people in her circle sort of questioning the fact that she's alone. One of the things that I like that kind of goes along with that theme of like female empowerment and independence and stuff is that she has another good female friend who is married and has children, and so she goes over and like plays with her kids or babysits her kids, and she tells them these fairy tales and she makes them up as she goes along. So Little Red Riding Hood found a wolf and she thought that the wolf was actually going to help her, when in fact the wolf was actually going to eat her and he wasn't a nice person. And then we have Beauty and the Beast, and although the Beast was a bit vicious and locked her in a castle and was a beast, he was kind to her and he let her read books and he let her be her best self, and so she kind of settled for the Beast. And I really liked that theme running throughout the film. We have some gorgeous shots of London in this film. That's definitely a plus, because we don't just have shots of like central London or shots of like the parks in London. It's not like necessarily touristy. Lily James's character Zoe seems to meet up with people along the kind of like the South Bank area a little bit more, and so we get really nice shots of the River Thames, which is really nice. And then we have the kind of reality of the mix of these families who create communities in and around London, which I thought was really nice. Growing up and being friends with people who have very different views to you, or people who have a very different way of life to you, and kind of both of you embracing each other as neighbours and as found family as well. So that was definitely a positive aspect of it. I sometimes felt when I was watching Zoe filming the family going through this assisted marriage process, I sometimes felt like she was almost a little too skeptical. Like it was getting to the point where it was judgmental. And it kind of almost didn't sit with me whether the film was pro assisted marriage or was very anti assisted marriage, because I wasn't sure whether it was judging that choice and judging that culture and judging that way of life. I think the film was trying to be very accepting of it, but I'm not sure whether asking all these questions under the guise of this documentary being made was actually kind of, as opposed to highlighting the good things about it, being a little bit like, yes, but about it. That it just didn't kind of sit where I thought it would sit with me. It just kind of felt, it brought that question to mind a little bit, like, well, is she actually just judging them at this point? Is she actually just saying, well, what you do is weird and what we do in like the UK is the norm, and therefore you should conform to the norm? And like even kind of the theories about like no sex before marriage, or no drinking, or no smoking, or no, like even those kind of things, those kind of life choices were interesting. They talk about the divorce rate, and then they talk about the divorce rate in arranged marriages, and then they kind of think about real life examples. And it's funny because when she's pitching this idea of making a documentary about this assisted marriage that's happening to her friend, they talk about interviewing other people, and they name all these other rom-coms, and they talk about When Harry Met Sally and how they have the interviews with the different couples in there. It just made me want to watch When Harry Met Sally. And then, yeah, Emma Thompson's character annoyed me a little bit. I thought there could have been a lot more about her. But then, was Emma Thompson's character playing true to life? I'm just not sure. We get to travel to Pakistan in this one, to go there. And there was some moments where it was very sort of magical, and again, nice scenery, nice backdrop. For it being a rom-com, there was some romance there. I didn't necessarily want a happily ever after ending for it, because she's taken all these fairy tales and twisted them and wants to be this independent woman, and like looks into freezing her eggs and has won awards for her documentaries and what have you. I kind of didn't want her to then get a happily ever after, to be like, oh, now she's in a couple, and like that's kind of what I was aiming for throughout the film. And so I didn't, when the parts where she was kind of looking for love, it didn't gel with me as much. I just kind of wanted to know more about her documentary filmmaking and the journey she was going on with this assisted marriage as well. And so in terms of, yeah, it being a rom-com, there was romance aspects of it, but I wasn't necessarily in support of them. And then in terms of the com part, I think I laughed once, and I was in a fairly full cinema. There was a lot of women in groups or couples there, and I didn't hear the cinema laugh an awful lot as well. So it's kind of like the film was okay, and I can see what it was trying to do, but I'm just not sure if it pulled it off. And I love a rom-com, and I like these actors, and I'm just felt like it fell a bit short for me, and I wish it had gone in a slightly different direction, or I wish it had been a bit like lighter on this, like the issue, if you want, of like assisted marriage, and like less on the romance. I don't know. Yeah, it was fine, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't what I needed it to be. It kind of didn't really gel with my expectations of what it was going to be. So should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one? I don't think it's worth a visit to the cinema to go and see it. I think it's one that you could watch on streaming. It'd be a nice one to watch and, like, you know, a date night at home, or watch with a friend, or watch with a family member. I think that it's fine, but I think that it could have been better, and I wish it had done a little bit more. And there you have it. As always, if there is a particular movie you want to hear my thoughts on, please do let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to go and watch movies on demand. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on my next movie review coming your way, or my bookish content that I will be posting in the week. So yes, I will see you with my next video. Thank you so much for watching.